Welcome back, guys, to Korea Hearthstone Masters Korea, I guess. I'm Doa, that's Wolf, and we just saw our first 3-0 of the season. I'm kind of shocked, actually. Solcio 3-0 against Looksam. I mean, he came into the match pretty heavily favored, but you know, then again, in the Conquest format, with as good as Looksam looked last week, or 2 weeks ago rather, I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah, we saw 3 rogues come out back-to-back. He was sticking with his guns, Looksam was, and he wasn't going to change his deck, and that came back to bite him. The deck just didn't seem that solid. Like you were saying before, he wasn't going to have to win with it eventually, but he wasn't even willing to try any of his other decks first.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, with Conquest, you have to win it, but now it's time to move on to our second match, which, of course, is starring Abelmo and Looksam, and there's Looksam taking his first match in week 1. Yep.
Very
6
happy
Savage Drawers, yeah. That's right. Looksam took out Sanabong, and Abelmo took down Handsome Guy. There he is. And I will say, these matches, we didn't see the highest amount of play. But we'll see if these guys have picked up a little bit here for their second match. This one's pretty important.
You know, sometimes when you see a little bit lower level play, like not the perfect play, not the highest level play, it gets a lot more fun. So
yeah, that is true sometimes. Although that's less true with Hearthstone than other games, I think. And like SC2 or League or something, then it becomes silly and fun. But with Hearthstone, it's like, oh man,
no, that's not going to work.
Yeah. Then it starts looking like my games. That's not as fun. There's Looksam. He is also on Godsiho.
Yeah, and this guy has played a ton of televised matches. He's at 74 now in total. That's a lot of games to have played in a very new game, and a very new game in Korea.
Yeah, initially he came into the tournament with the highest win rate in competitive matches in Korean tournaments, too. He's fallen to 3rd now, of course, but beyond that, he's certainly one of the better players, and he is, like I mentioned, on Gatsio, which tends to be the top team right now in Korea. So I'd say out of these two, he is the favored player, probably. But still, when you compare him to a player like Solsiho or Surrender or something like that, I think he's like just slightly below those guys.
Sure.
And his opponent in the other booth, it will be Abelmo.
Abelmo.
What a great ID he has.
Abraham Lincoln and Elmo put together, man. That's an Abelmo.
Honest Abelmo.
Yep.
There we go.
Big star.
Yep, that's right. And I believe that's his own team of himself.
Okay.
He just made a team, called it Big Star. It's only him.
Well, you know, after he beat Handsome Guy, he figured he'd take on some other name similar to that, like Big Star.
Well, he came into it, man. He came into it as Big Star, the sole member of the Big Star team. He is a team in himself, that Abelmo.
Well, we've seen that before in other esports. I won't name any names, but it has happened.
It does happen every once in a while. So we'll see what these guys decide to bring here. We know that it's going to be Mage and Paladin for the first game, but we're going to take a look at their win rates and decks before that.
That guy said he came all the way from Busan to see Looksam's play.
Wow. Looksam's pretty popular in Korea, no doubt.
So that's pretty impressive. He's got fans all over the country.
Yep, and so let's take a look at these guys' decks. There's Looksam. Of course, you can see his win rates on the various classes, but what has he brought for his match today? 58% win rate. Wow, that's really good. Warlock, Mage, and Druid. And he will be bringing out the Mage first.
Yep. And the Druid is actually quite good. You know, he's got an insanely good win rate at 11-6. So Druid's really strong right now, I feel.
Druid's still very strong. Yeah, it's been very strong for a long time. And man, Emperor Tharson just really gave Druid another boost because it really needed it, Wolf.
It really did, man.
Really needed it.
As if Ramp Druid was even sort of kind of strong before.
I felt like the combos just weren't coming quick enough for Druid.
Yeah.
Blizzard was like, you know what? You're right. Let's give him another. Let's see what Abelmo does decide to bring. Hey, Druid as well. Paladin and a Hunter too. Interesting. Paladin, a deck that he has no results yet in the competitive scene with.
Yeah, Paladin, one of the least popular classes, I guess, overall. Hunter, he's done quite well with that, and Hunter's still obviously been very staple in these tournaments. Very strong deck. Always lots of different variations, but very scary to face those secrets, man.
We saw a lot of mid-range last couple weeks. We'll see what we see today. If we get to it, game number 1, Mage versus Paladin, Looksam versus Abelmo. It's time to get into our second best of 5 and see who goes on to face Solsiho in the winner's match in our third best of 3. Let's get in the game. Yes. Looksam versus Abelmo. Of course. And I wonder what kind of Paladin deck we're going to see out of Abelmo. That's the one I'm really kind of curious about here.
The only Paladin decks I've been really studying recently are the future ones that don't exist yet because the cards aren't out, but the Dragon ones.
The Dragon ones, yeah. That'll be fun. I wonder if those will actually be competitive. I mean, Dragon Consort, I guess we're getting a bit of ahead of ourselves, but Dragon Consort is certainly a great card by itself, but I wonder. I wonder how viable those decks will end up being. But
yeah. Paladin's my favorite class, and I haven't been playing Paladin for a while because it's been a bit weaker.
It's gotten better recently, I feel like.
Yeah, a little bit.
GVG gave it put it in an interesting place. Ooh, it looks like it will be Mech Mage, of course, from Looksam, and a little bit of a slower Paladin deck from Abelmo.
Looks like they're trading cards with each other here, but they're not.
That's right. I bet he would be happy trading a couple of those Sludge Belchers.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, somebody's playing with those
Ground
tools.
control to Major Tom. There we go. That's what I hear.
I hope a lot of people got that reference.
I'm sure they did. Remember that astronaut did the cover of it last year?
Yeah.
So it's topical.
Yeah, it's true. That is somewhat topical.
There you go.
There you go. You always know just the right thing to say.
I wish.
Well, Mech Warper, strongest card in the game. No, not really, but
Really?
it's
No,
really strong.
That's Lothep. Or is it Dr. Boom? Or is it Emperor Tharzan? It's going to be a Mechanical Yeti coming out.
No, off just really early on here. He's playing.
Ground control to Major Tom. Okay, I'm done.
You ever consider a career in singing?
Or a David Bowie impersonating?
Yeah, or both.
Maybe.
Maybe together.
They do kind of come together, don't they?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, so no Yeti. I mean, the thing is getting that mirror entity out fairly early on against Paladin is pretty nice because they will be coming with like the Sludge Belchers you see. But then again, if you get a oh my gosh, the 3/3 that changes the attack to 1. What is wrong with me?
Aldor Peacekeeper?
Yes, Aldor Peacekeeper. Seriously.
Sorry, you got me there for a second, too.
It's too much David Bowie there. So that's the problem, is when somebody asks you, then you suddenly forget yourself, too.
He says he's moving the meta to the right.
Oh.
I don't know what that means. I guess we're moving it forward.
All right. Well, if we move to the right.
And he says he's doing it today, too. Yeah.
All right.
That's how we do it in Korea, too. We still read left to right out here.
Yeah. Or top to bottom if you're reading really old text.
Sure.
So he does get the Mechanical Yeti out anyway.
Yeah, not gonna want to put the Tinkertown guy out there instead.
Yeah.
What's so great about Tinkertown, anyways?
I don't know.
He seems to be very adamant that he fights for Tinkertown.
It's like a really small part of Ironforge, if I remember right. You just kind of go there to buy like alchemy supplies and engineering supplies. But I don't know. He's getting supplies, I guess, if there's a mech out.
Ooh, this is nice.
Oh.
Gonna grab that spare part. Let's see what he gets.
And he's going to also get his 1/1 off the board, too, so prevents the secret from coming out for Looksam, which is especially nice.
Time Rewinder versus the Whirring Blades.
Yeah. Time Rewinder can be pretty helpful if you throw it on that Aldor Peacekeeper, potentially, and nerf a couple attacks.
Time Rewinder is always cool because it's often can just be a heal as well, so you can replay one of your damage minions. I mean, it's I think one of the best spare parts. I love using it.
Now, unfortunately for Looksam, he doesn't have any mechs to use with his Goblin Blast Mage, his Cogmaster, or his Tinkertown Technician. So that's a bit of an awkward situation for him to be in.
You think you should play Mirror Entity here?
Nah, because you only run 2 Mirror Entities in a Mech Mage, and so then when your Mad Scientist die, you just kind of just kind of lose it.
Sure.
So I think this is fine. It's not you don't get the battle cry, of course, from the Tinkertown Technician, but you get a 3/3 bounty on the board. That's not bad. Oh, Pileded Shredder. You could just play on curve with the Sludge Belcher too.
I think Sludge Belcher and kill the Tinkertown Technician with your weapon.
I think you're right. I think that probably is what we're going to see.
Because there's not much way to remove that right now.
Well, the fact that he's got 2 Sludge Belchers is so good for Abelmo, because it's really hard to burn through that as Mech Mage sometimes.
Especially if you want Mirror Entity, Alex. This is why I was considering the Mirror Entity play, because when you go into turn 5, if you get that Sludge Belcher, then you kind of nullify that effect. But your point is valid as well, though. If you end up wasting the effect of the Scientist, then you're not going to...
It's a good point. It probably would have been wasted. And, when you see that happen, when you see that Secret get played, you're probably not going to play a Sludge Belcher into it anyway. So there's really kind of no way around it, unfortunately, for Looksam.
Yeah.
He's in a rough spot. You could turn it around, though. It's certainly not over yet. But the The fact that 2 Sludge Belchers are in the mix for the Paladin player makes it really tough for Mech Mage.
He's only having some tough times making a decision here too, because he doesn't have anything to activate his Blast Goblin.
He's got all the stuff that needs mechs, but no mechs. Get that Mirror Entity.
Okay. Still, I guess he's just gonna go ahead and play it for the Bonnie. Get a minion on the board.
Throw everything out there, huh?
I mean, it's not ideal, but
really hopes his opponent doesn't have Consecrate.
Yeah.
Luckily he doesn't, but he does have the Outdoor Peacekeeper, so.
Plus the Time Rewinder to use it again, as we were talking about earlier.
He could.
And that's not actually too bad for Mirror Entity either. He's like probably totally fine with that.
Yeah, Looksam, you can see he's pretty stressed right now. That Mirror Entity did not give him what he wanted. Not at all.
No. That was kind of the only thing he had in his hand.
Well, the other thing too is that he killed the Mad Scientist before he activated the Mirror Entity too, so he just totally wasted that. Well, he had it in his hand anyway. Never mind. Doesn't matter.
It's alright.
Bah.
It's okay. Well, now he's got this awkward moment where his trades are just going to be bad. Like, he's going to have to trade 2 of these minions into the Sludge Belcher. His Blast Mage will live, but a 1/1. And then he could try to trade the Peacekeeper and the other Peacekeeper, but actually, no, he'll be blocked by the taunt that way. Yeah. So there's awkward trades he has to make. I guess he's going to go ahead and use Frostbolt. Can't really use it on.
No, he doesn't need to use it quite yet. He could have used a Whirring Blades there, of course, to buff the attack front of his minions, but you need to save that for Antonidas at this point. It's kind of becoming to the point where Antonidas is like the only way you're going to maybe get enough damage, and even that is looking pretty unlikely.
He's just going to go ahead and grab this, return it back to his hand.
Yep, why not? Just go ahead and play the Peacekeeper again. Use that second Mirror Entity. Man, Looksam just looks so distraught, but you can't blame the guy. It really could not be going much worse right now.
No. Well, get the Spider Tank. That's not really what he wants.
I mean, it's something, you know? It's a 3/4 body. It's okay.
It's just really, I mean, the bigger issues that we haven't really discussed is like the card advantage here and what cards he has in his hand. He has Tyrion Fordring, he has Ragnaros, he has another Sludge Belcher, as well as 2 Shredders, which are going to give him 2 cards as well, no matter what. So
Abelmo's got just so much stickiness. He's just going to be able to grind through the Mech Mage very, very easily from this point on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all he's got left to do, basically. With the draws that Looksam is getting, he's just not getting any chances, not getting any hope. He's even just going to go ahead and just put this out there in hopes that he can actually stack up a bunch of fireballs next turn. It's desperate, but I think it's good considering where he's at right now in this game.
I think you're right. I mean, I think he does have to kind of go for the win here, and we'll see what Ragnaros hits. Oh man, boy. This game is over if Archmage Antonidas gets hits. Where it going to go? And it goes to the Peacekeeper. Okay.
Okay.
So Looksam, he's going to get the play he wants.
Going to go ahead and freeze and then fireball this, most likely.
Yep.
Grab 2 new fireballs. And, you know, was that the right move to drop Rag here?
Well, it's such a big chance. I mean,
if you hit it, you win, you know? Like, if you hit that, it's over, and you know that.
I think it was the right choice because what else are you going to play? You know, either the only other options that you're going to throw out there are going to definitely give the Archmage a chance to live. This way, at least you have a chance of killing him. Unfortunately for Abelmo, though, it didn't happen. And this is a bit of a rough situation right now because he is actually very close to dead at this point.
Yeah.
All right, well, there's Tyrion Fordring. And now
in fact, if he had a Frostbolt in his hand, his second Frostbolt, he could actually win the game.
Yeah, now you kind of just throw fireballs at their face. And how about that? Archmage Antonidas came through in the end. You can actually fireball him.
Yep, you can actually trade Archmage into the Tyrion as well.
Well, I think he's just going to fireball him and give him the weapon because it doesn't matter at this point. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, might as well.
You want to keep that fireball engine out as long as you can. And, you know, do you Loatheb here? I actually would.
I would
it's
too
a
for
safer
safety.
Play, yeah.
Because if he can't kill you now,
what a turnaround. Yeah, well, he definitely can't because what's he going to do? You know, I mean, he can't really attack with the
Paladin,
weapon.
He's got in his hand.
Yeah, with like all these 9-mana spells, man. That game turned around in a hurry, you know. And it just came down to Archmage Antonidas.
He didn't have an answer.
To play him.
Yeah.
He had to, I mean, Looksam had to play him. It was a desperation move, but luckily for him, the Ragnaros didn't connect. And This game is going to go in favor of Mage. You know there's 2 fireballs in the hand. Wow, piloted Sky Golem as well, too. A little bit updated Mech Mage. We've been seeing that a little bit.
We get to see that little sneak peek of what we'll see later, should he decide to play the deck again.
Should be cool, and there we go. Well, he can't play it again.
Right,
He's
now,
won with it. Yeah.
Never mind then.
So that is it, and a win for Looksam, coming back from a bit of a deficit in terms of board control to take that game number 1. And that was really a close call for Looksam, because if you can't develop board control with Mech Mage, your only chance is Archmage Antonitis, and if that doesn't pan out, you're just dead.
He had to take that risk, and luckily for him, he even had that card.
Yeah.
Like, if he didn't have that in his hand, he would have been so dead. There's no other card for him to play in this moment that's going to bring him back into the game.
Well, either way, Looksam gets a win, and now he's got to bring out his Druid or Warlock.
Well, what I love about Hearthstone sometimes, too, is just these moments where, against all odds, you feel like the game is hopeless, but you know you have this one card in your hand and it might work out, and it does in this case.
Well, that's why it's just a good idea not to concede, because you never know what you're going to draw. And
exactly.
You never concede unless you know for a fact they're going to win the next turn.
Yeah, or, you know that nothing in your deck that you can draw, if you live 2 more turns, could actually even turn the game around for you. But even then, it's still kind of, your opponent might make mistakes, you don't know.
I feel like Control Warrior is the best example of those decks. You know, how many Control Warrior games have you played where you're down to like 3 health and still come back and win? Happens a lot.
Especially with that heal bot, man. That anti-heal bot is bringing it back.
Yeah. Well, Looksam versus Abelmo, game number 2. Let's see what they pick. It's time to get into the game. Here we are, Druid versus Hunter this time around. Looksam versus Abelmo. Man, our studio's packed today.
There's a lot of people here. Good timing on the intro again, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You're quite high on point there.
I'm kind of listening to the Korean a little bit.
Yeah.
I can't understand it as well as you, but I try.
No, nicely done. So we're going to see Druid versus Hunter here.
Wow.
And look at that hand.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, it's a lot of spiders.
Harrison Jones not going to be happy if he has to come out on the other side. Or no, he's always afraid of snakes.
He wants to put things in museums. Hey, well, I think everyone's kind of afraid of spiders, so.
Yeah, I mean,
Harrison Jones.
Who's
Although
not
Indiana
afraid of
Jones
spiders?
is not afraid of spiders. 'Cause remember?
Yeah,
the very first movie, he's like wiping them off the dude's back.
I don't like spiders.
All right.
Keep them away from me.
Ooh, 2 leper gnomes, knife jugglers. So normally I would say coin out the spider, but at this point you may just want to throw one of those knife jugglers out there to see what he's got.
Yeah, see if he's got one.
And we know he does. I'm sure he's only throwing that out there. And you notice he takes the one that he just drew.
Yeah, you always want to play from the right so your opponent doesn't know that you have 2.
Yeah, if you can, yep. You always want to make it look like you're top decking something, or having just drawn it anyway. So we'll see what he does here. I feel like you kind of have to Wrath. He may decide to just he may just put out the piloted Shredder too. That's a good soak for knives, and it's something that can handle the knife juggler either way.
True.
There's not a ton of risk this early in the game. I think there's a pretty decent argument for either one. Plus you have, 2 in your hand, but okay, he's gonna go with the Wrath though.
This does kind of mess up his mana efficiency for next turn, but I think both choices are good. Now here, I guess you put out the Creeper, so that way you can combo it later yourself. Oh, it's gonna put the juggler out.
Yeah, but I think you're right though. I think a lot of people would have preferred to put out the Creeper, because then you respond to your opponent's creature by running the
Creeper in to get the spiders.
Yeah, and then you get 2 knives out of it.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think that would have been a better plan.
He top decks the Sludge Belcher, so he just innervates that out. So that's actually an insanely good draw there.
Right. Let's see what friend comes along.
Oh!
Wow, all right, well, you got to trade there.
That's a great lucky chance, man.
No kidding. Yeah, gets the Leok and gets the knife on the Sludge Belcher. How about that? Well, piloted Shredder is a pretty easy decision this turn. I think, anyway.
Yeah. That was like a 1 in 6 chance or so, I think. I'm not good at math, don't quote me. But.
Dude, you are totally talking to the wrong person if you want me to give you advice on math.
Just gonna go ahead and drop this down. Shredder with more damage here. Can still trade into it.
Yeah, probably just take out the Leok. We'll see. See what he decides to do.
Yeah, he's got a few options here. Could also silence it. I don't think he will, but against Hunter, you usually want to keep that 2 damage to kill a creature later on.
Silencing the piloted Shredder wouldn't be the worst thing either, too, because you're not going to have a lot of other silence targets in Hunter. You know, maybe Savannah Jaime.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I mean, the only thing I'd say even is just arguing like, you know, maybe you want that 2 damage for something later, but
yeah,
he doesn't know the deck exactly yet.
Interesting. Okay. Let's see how he wants to trade this, because he could clear both Shredders and then just kind of deal with what comes out, but that's the question, you know, is what's coming out?
Yeah, what if he gets Millhouse Manastorm? That happened to me yesterday. I was like, whoa.
I was playing against the Paladin of course they get shielded mini-bot. I'm like, oh, thanks. Thanks a lot.
Let's see what happens. The Murloc and Discombobulator, Decombobulator, whatever he's called.
Decombobulator. And just going to clear the other one, I think, here. No, just clearing the Recombobulator.
That way you keep it so that you know what you're up against no matter what, and your opponent can't use that other card this turn. Like, he's going to have to use the 4-1. If he clears the Shredder, then the next turn, whatever comes out, which could be a big threat, I mean, maybe, that unknown, he gets to use that right away.
I'm silly. That would have left him with 2 minions instead of 1.
That as well.
Oops.
It's okay.
So, yeah, we'll see what he decides to go with here.
You know, he could play Sylvanas. That's not a bad choice. Swiping, I think, is just not a good idea. He could trade and then swipe face, but he could do that, actually, if he traded it. But he's going to play Sylvanas instead.
Yeah, I think waiting for the value with swipe is going to be a little bit better. Gets 4 damage into face here. Forcing Hunter to kind of play on the defensive this side. Druid really has the momentum right now.
Yeah. Okay, I guess he's just gonna go ahead and pop this and see what he gets.
Yep. Better than running the spider into it. Okay, well, that is really dangerous.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty nice drop, especially with the swipe in the hand.
Spell power with Druid is not a happy thing for opponents of Druid.
Yeah, I mean, it's never something you really want to keep. Is something you're not gonna like build around spell power, but if you get a bonus spell power, hey, it's nice.
Okay, he's just gonna go ahead and clear the Sylvanas here.
Sylvanas' Death Rattle going to trigger after, so we'll get one of those spiders.
Yep. And
do you think he'll clear that? I think it's a good idea to clear that, even though he's got the Mad Scientist.
Well, that's the annoying thing, is that he wants to get the trap so that he can get another charge on his bow. Let's see what he does.
Yeah, he's going to do it. I think this is the safer choice.
I think the danger from swipe is a little bit too great. I think you're right.
And thankfully for him, I mean, he didn't know there was a swipe there, but there was, so the safer play plays out for him there.
You can make a pretty good assumption with that. All right, so Wild Growth popping up at a pretty awkward time.
I think he's just going to go ahead and silence this.
Or do 2 damage to yourself. Don't end it. It's not worth it, man. Looksam is thinking hard.
Yeah, it almost looked like his facial expression there. It almost looked like he accidentally did do it, and we just had some lag.
Jeez, that would be a nightmare.
I've only ever accidentally perditioned myself. Nobody plays that card in my life.
Yeah, you can just clear it.
This is just so unfortunate because he can go ahead and pop this and just, you know, drop the secret out as well. He knows what it is.
Oh yeah,
it is a little spider there. What's that spider's technical name? I'm so bad.
Spectral spider.
Spectral spider. That's right.
Spectral Spiderling.
See, you know these.
I think.
Yeah, Spectral Spiderling.
Pretty sure.
Not a beast, though.
No.
That makes her too strong.
Well, it's Dr. Boom. I don't even need to look at that one.
Yep, and he doesn't have a VGH, so this is going to be kind of annoying.
Wrath. Oh. Well, that'll be enough with Swipe.
Let's see what the bombs do.
Yeah, he can clear this Dr. Boom, but he will have to deal with the bombs. Now, here's the thing, is he can run the Keeper of the Grove into the Spider and then do that combo and just clear the board completely. Maybe he keeps the Keeper alive, maybe he doesn't, but either way, a board clear like that, I think, is
it's good.
I think too strong to pass up.
Exactly, especially because his opponent has 1 card in his hand. Yeah. So, you know, once you clear this, you're like, all right, what do you got?
Oh, and he knows. Abelmo knows what's coming. He's like, oh, boy. Now, why would you want a lot of 1/1s out?
Because I'm going to swipe Wrath.
There's the swipe. Where the bomb's going to go, Keeper, and to face. Only 1 damage to face. That's not bad.
Yeah, Keeper goes down, but, you know, this is still a great clear for him. Great opportunity.
Yeah.
Grab that armor, and he's got so many more cards as an opponent. Unfortunately for him, his cards are not ideal. He's got a Spectral Spider at 3 mana. He can draw a card in 2 turns with his Wild Growth.
Oh, Mad Scientist. Okay, well, you play the bow, you play the Mad Scientist. So, at least Abelmo has a little bit of a chance to kind of start catching up here.
That was a great draw.
Yeah, not bad at all. Synergy, Wolf.
He only
It's all
used
about
one
synergy.
Right, he only used one secret, right? So he's got position guard.
Oh man, Cenarius. Gets
Relax,
drawn.
crowd. This is pretty exciting, but
They're like, but it's Cenarius.
the obvious play.
All right, so is there an explosive trap in Abelmo's deck? I think that's the question here.
Even if there is, this is still a pretty gnarly situation.
Oh man. All right, so he's going to clear it. He's going to go down to, okay, he's not going to go down to 16. What trap is that? Freezing, of course.
Freezing is going to eliminate scenarios if he ends up accidentally doing that. I don't think he will. He'll probably
He's going to make him do it, though.
He could just wait a turn, pass it.
Yeah, you're just not going to attack now. Absolutely.
Yeah. He's just going to Spectral Spider here and pass with, of course, the Wild Growth draw. And
yep, see what he draws.
Let's see what he draws first.
He's got a couple good options here. Either way, it's still looking very good for Looksam. Oh, nice draw. Drew to the claw. And we'll see if he wants to run it right in and activate the trap.
I think just taunt it and play the Spectral Spider. He's counting some numbers right now.
Yeah. Well, he can't. Yeah, he can play both, actually.
Yeah, just play both and just wait a turn, I think.
You certainly don't need to activate the trap right now. It's not going to hurt you if you do, though. It's fine. He can still play it, and it's still going to have charge.
Yeah. I guess this way he gets 5 damage instead of waiting a turn to do that.
Yeah,
puts
just
him more of a clock.
Just puts you a little bit closer.
And he's
Animal
got
companion. That's not going to help. Yep, there it is. GG.
Wow.
So Looksam taking game 2 with his Druid. Are we actually going to have 2 3-0s? He's up 2-0 now. Wow.
That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, Warlock remaining.
Did I come here on a crazy day for my sub in, Dilla?
You might have, man. I mean, again, a lot of people favoring Looksam coming into this. I don't feel like Abelmo's been playing bad, but Looksam has been getting the wins, and he is 1 win away from going on to face Solciho in the winner's match. So that means it's time for a bit of a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll see if Abelmo can rally. What do you think? Think he can come back?
I hope so. I want him to show us something new and at least take 1 win here. Because I don't like it when anybody gets 3-0'd.
Me neither.
Never a fun thing.
I mean, one of the things I love most about Conquest is getting to see more than 3 games. We'll see if we do when we come back. Game number 3 between Abelmo and Looksam. We'll see if Abelmo can begin his road to try to tie things up, or if Looksam will get the final win he needs to send him to the winner's match tonight. Don't go anywhere, guys. Hearthstone Masters Korea will be right back after this. And we're back on Hearthstone Masters Korea. And we have got quite the match, man. A 2-0 in favor of Looksam so far. First doing it with the Mech Mage, then doing it with the Druid.
Yeah, and the Mech Mage win was the most impressive, I feel, just simply because, you know, he had a bit of a rough start. I mean, as you guys can see here, you know, he struggled to combo some of his cards. Like, he couldn't get his Blast Mage to go off, and his Cogmasters got taken out, but he still was able to make that risky play with Antonius. It was the only play to make, and come back and win it, even with 2 bad mirror entities. Like, he had a lot of struggles, but he still was able to win the game.
And here it was, a 25% chance to basically win the game for Abelmo. If you take out Antonius, there's just no way that the mage is coming back, but Looksam gets a bit lucky. The Ragnaros was not playing for Abelmo that game. And in the end, a flurry of fireballs finished the fray for Looksam.
Yeah, I feel like Abelmo's got another shot here going into our 3rd game. I'm hoping to see, not to say it's a better play, but just, you know, he gets a chance here with one of his decks. What deck do you think he's going to end up using here?
I mean, I don't know. It's tough because he's used his Paladin, he's used his Hunter. I mean, Druid obviously is a solid choice anytime, but you have to win a game with all 3. It is Conquest format, so honestly, it really doesn't matter now that we're down to the last game. Whatever he thinks matches up best against Warlock is, you know, what you go with, but in the end, you need to beat everything.
Yeah, and there's no way you can know like which cards his opponent's going to draw each time.
Yeah.
Deck's going to stay the same.
Yeah, I feel like Druid wouldn't be a bad idea. Paladin obviously has a way to deal with large creatures, so he's got some good choices. And I don't think this one's going to be a 3-0. I feel like Abelmo's going to be able to come back and win at least a game or 2.
I hope so.
Yep. But we'll have to see, guys. It's time to move into game number 3. See what the players choose. And see if Abelmo can start making a comeback. I don't know, man. I don't know about two 3-0s in the same night. I don't want it. I want to see more games.
I want to as well. It's my first time casting Hearthstone in a big studio like this, and I don't want it to be that night where Wolf fills in and it's 3 3-0s or something like that.
Don't curse the matches tonight, Wolf.
I'm trying not to.
Okay, well, game 3 starting right now. Abelmo versus Looksam. Let's do it. Going to be, what will Abelmo play? And it's going to be Hunter. Hunter. And we will see if you can take him out.
Web spinner to start.
Yeah, not a bad start.
Keeps 1 kill command.
Okay. Yeah, just wants to be able to trade with a large taunt early on if he can. Zen Mystic not going to be terribly helpful against Warlock, but, you know, it's a 4-3 body. It's not the worst thing ever.
Yeah. And he knows it's not Zoo because of the mulligan, or at least he can reasonably assume that it's not.
Yeah. There we go. Whoa, okay.
Oh, we had to use a backup there for a second.
Yep. Yes, we did. Oh, does he hit the first time? No, he's just shooting the portrait. Wow.
That's how angry he is about how that
Vicious Abelmo. He may be honest Abelmo, but he's not as friendly of a guy as Abraham Lincoln Sr.
I don't know if that's a very honest thing to do, is to shoot your opponent.
Whoa, that's King Crush. Yeah, well, are you going to get to that turn to play it? But it's King Crush.
Just something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Getting crazy here already.
Yep.
Well, against a handlock, I mean, there's a high chance.
Okay, I'm done. I'm not going to do it. Can you hear me out in space? No. I can't help it. Whenever that sound plays.
Ground control Major Tom, that song always made me feel really sad.
I don't know, maybe because he's out in space.
Yeah, it's blowing me out there.
Major Tom just, floating around.
He says a real man would come back 3 wins after losing twice.
Whoa, Abelmo's very manliness called into question. Abelmo from the one-man team, Team Big Star. Will he leave this match a man or just a hollow shell?
You're putting it on the level.
I am. Well, the fan put on the level, man.
You're just quoting him.
I'm just helping translate.
Well, we're going to see Void Caller come out here.
Yeah, it is a little bit more of a demon-focused deck. Now, there is no demon in the hand, of course, of Looksam, but you need to have that board control against hunters, so I think it's still a very worthwhile thing to put down.
Sounds like an old, metal song, No Demon in the Hand.
No demon in the hand. That is definitely an old metal sound, dude. Metal song.
No Demon in the Hand.
No demon in the hand. I was never a heavy metal singer.
No, I was never a heavy metal fan, really.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I heavily dislike it, but I never went through a phase. I never had that.
Oh.
I went through like almost every other phase. No country music though.
Hey, look at this, and the thing is obviously Abelmo does not know there's no demons in
Yeah, so
Looksam's
he's
hand.
really have to like think about this a lot, which is why I think that Looksam actually played this, because
Well, yeah. It just creates so many questions for Abelmo, because you don't want like a huge demon. You know, you don't want Mal'Ganis hitting the board, and you especially don't want even Jiraxis hitting the board. That's a 315 body. That's really tough to deal with.
and he doesn't have a Hunter's Mark. You know, if Jiraxis hits with it and you've got a Hunter's Mark, you're like, oh, okay, nice. But
Yeah, Dread Infernal is a big problem too, so just playing that Kazan Mystic.
Yep.
Getting another body on the board.
he knows there's never going to be a secret in that Warlock's head.
Shouldn't be, no.
Well, yeah, almost
Unless he
never.
plays one, and then Looksam plays a Kazan Mystic, and then he has to play to steal it back.
That's one possibility. Gonna Argus this, and still no demon in the hand, but you know, just getting that value, forcing him to remove it now.
Yeah, he kind of has to. Oh man, this Void Caller is just messing with Abelmo so much.
I almost feel
Wow.
like he'd silence it right now if he had an owl.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you really have to be worried about it. Again, like Dread Infernal is something you see in handlock decks. It's a 6/6 body.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a lot on the board that would get hurt by the, you know, well, the Battle Cry wouldn't activate, obviously, but still, a 6/6 is not something you can give your opponent.
No. Mal'Ganis would be terrifying as well to have at this stage of the game, especially
is-
without a Hunter's Mark.
This is so funny. This is just like one of the greatest bluffs in Hearthstone here. The Void Caller with no demons in the hand.
No demons in the hand. And
It's tough, though. You can't blame Abelmo for playing ridiculously cautious with this.
yeah.
And the fact that Looksam even used it to trade and took it down to 1 just says, hey, man, I want this to die.
Yeah.
I've got a demon. It's a very scary demon, and you don't want him on the board.
I think he's just gonna roll with it. I think he has to try.
We'll see.
You don't think he's gonna kill command the Watcher, do you? With the web spinner? Because I think he's thinking about that.
Maybe.
I think he's actually thinking about no.
Maybe. He's going to have to deal with the Void Caller eventually. He really wants to wait until he has like 100 mark or something. Okay. Just going to play the weapon.
All right.
And he's going to do it. Up. Bluff called. He's like, there was nothing after all.
You know, on the Korean client, those question marks look so crisp.
Oh, really?
So skinny, so slim, those question marks on the secrets. I just noticed that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They do look a little bit different.
A little bit thicker on the US client.
Yeah. Huh. Don't think that's a commentary on anything.
Yeah, just different fonts, I guess, for the Korean characters. But I just noticed that. I just pointing that out.
Even the American question marks are less healthy than the Korean question marks. Just saying. Food is healthier here.
I'm going to go eat McDonald's and watch Game of Thrones tonight.
No. You don't want to be... You're going to end up being one of those thicker NA client question marks now.
Well, he's
Alright.
got draws that silence for the Vulture.
It's true.
It's also going to, if you wanted to, combo it with the kill command, but he's already got the spinner, so I guess he doesn't need to. He could also just drop the high main here.
Yeah, Savannah High Main is a nice thing to get out on the board, but dealing with that Belcher may not be the worst thing ever. I think he's going to wait till next turn, though, just because then you can do like a combo with that at low or something like that.
He gives up his, his bow.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good plan to wait with. Hellfire. All right.
Yeah, you can trade both in and then Hellfire to get rid of all 3 minions.
I forgot. Did we see what trap it was?
It was a freezing trap, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure.
You're
Almost
probably right.
100% Sure. Yeah.
We'll see.
I'm tempted to look at the card sheet, but I won't do it. I won't do it.
Now we're wrong. And
Oh man, he's so frustrated right now.
well, it's been a tough match.
Well,
So you could silence and trade with the Savannah High Main
yeah, or
if you make it there. But let's see what
he could also
does.
trade both in and then Hellfire, but that would be like pretty inefficient.
Yeah. And Freezing Trap is pretty good for Defender Vargas. It makes it a little bit less cost efficient, but man, I'm still happy to have that back in the hand if it gets sent back for me.
And I guess what I was saying earlier is not entirely accurate because of that secret. You couldn't have actually traded both in.
Yeah. But either way, it's a strong board for Looksam. There's another kill command.
Both up here. This is a smart choice.
Yeah, just hero power.
Because now there's almost no way to deal with the hyenas unless he has that silence, which he does. But you know, he doesn't know that, so I think this is a good play.
The big creatures are starting to come out now for Looksam. That Twilight Drake is going to be annoying unless it gets silenced. That does help a lot.
And don't forget, King Crush is right down the pipeline. 2 turns left.
Yeah. I wonder if we're going to see the Owl silence the Savannah High main. I mean, against Hunter, there's really not a lot of other silence targets that you're going to be using.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's some weird Hunter that also runs like Belchers, which clearly this one is not, as we've already seen.
Some do. You never know. But I would still say it's a higher priority target. It looks like Looksam thinks so too, yeah. Here it is, and that's pretty good if you're going to be trading.
Especially because he can't really Hellfire here.
Oh, Hungry Crab.
Oh, it's one of the worst. But I mean, I guess if you're going to get King Crush, the Karma has to hit you somewhere.
I suppose, yeah. We're really hitting opposite ends of the spectrum, aren't we? King Crush and a Hungry Crab.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
then you just hope he's got a piloted shredder.
That
and
drops
like
a Murloc.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. Hey, we've already seen a Murloc come out of a piloted shredder today.
Yeah, it was the 2-1.
Yeah.
By the way, he draws into Unleash the Hounds here, which is a great card to play at this time. Unfortunately, doesn't have a Hunter's Mark, or this would be insanely good right now.
Yeah.
Still okay.
Still got ways to deal with a lot of this board.
He could combo into Kill Command to get rid of that Drake.
Well, he could also just silence the Drake to make it only have 1 health.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I mean, you want to also consider saving the silence for a big taunt, right? But this is not bad. And man, if he's able to actually bust through this and there's not a lot of taunts coming out the next turn, King Crush could actually be a big deal.
We haven't seen any Siphon Souls, and I don't think he runs any.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't seem like he does anyways. So he trades this. I think he's gonna.
He may just leave the 2-1 up too. We'll see. I guess he doesn't want to give him an option to Shadow Flame.
Eliminate all those. Play the crab, might as well.
Yeah, man. Well, actually, you save it, but you never know. You never know when you're going to need a Hungry Crab.
True. True.
Yeah, well,
it gives you a huge advantage if you do actually hit that Murloc.
Still no demons. I wonder what demons are in Looksam's deck, actually. I would imagine Mal'Ganis is in there for sure, but...
He has to have Mal'Ganis and Jiraxis.
Yeah, the Dread Infernal is the other tech that we see once in a while, but...
He could have the Watcher. Is that what it's called? The card where if you damage yourself, it gains health. I mean, it gains attack and health on your turn.
Maybe. That'd be pretty...
I doubt it, but
surprising
he
if he
might
has that
have
in there. Yeah.
I mean, it could be he had no demons. It could just be a total bluff play, like we were talking about earlier. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, he just decides to play a 3/4 for 4 instead of a Chillwind Yeti. There's Void Caller. He gets Jiraxis in his hand with the life tap.
Oh, it's
All
taunted.
right.
So, and he doesn't have a silence anymore. So,
yep.
Jiraxis could come out. I don't know if he wants that, actually.
I don't know. We'll see. Is he going to just drop King Crush? Is he going to just go all out? Because he's got 2 kill commands, honestly. If he gets that damage done to face, but then the trouble is, if you get him close to dead but not dead, then you risk them just playing Jiraxis too.
But if he kills this, Jiraxis,
oh yeah, he has to kill it.
He doesn't know that,
yeah.
but if he does kill this, I think this is actually maybe even a mistake by Looksam, because I don't think he wants that Jiraxis on the board. Like at a 315, I don't think so.
You know, it's the only thing is that he just has no idea that King Crush is coming, right? So
here's something
you
else.
Can't really criticize the guy, but
here's something else that gets there too. Is if Jiraxis comes out the next turn, he can actually taunt it, which would make it a bigger deal. You know, if it's just a 350 on the board, it's not that scary. But here it comes.
Yep, there is Jiraxis, and I say you just go for it now, man. You play King Crush, you just do as much damage as you can. You know they can't get back up to 15. Looksam's like, uh-oh, that's King Crush.
Look on his face, man. He's like, was that from Web Spinner or what?
Yep, I think it pretty much had to be. So with 2 kill commands in the hand, unless he heals this turn, which he's not going to.
Does he have any way of getting lethal? I don't
well, if he taps, let's see, if he taps into an Ancient Heal Bot, that would bring him up to 12, right?
Yeah.
And so if he kills the beasts, which he
can't.
Right? Yeah, he can't kill all 3.
Well, with Soulfire,
well,
if he gets really lucky, like if he Soulfires and he discards the Argus, and like he might maybe, but he has to tap. I mean, there's no other way out of this. He doesn't know the kill commands are in the hand though, so he might actually play riskier.
The trouble is killing King Crush. Oh, big Game Hunter. Okay, you're still.
You're still dead
You're
to the
still
kill
dead
commands.
to the kill commands, though, yeah. And you've got to keep playing it, obviously.
Because he doesn't know there's kill commands there either. So.
Yeah. He's thinking of just playing the defender, because even if you kill command, you'd still be dead to what else is left, so he has to taunt.
Yeah. Well, this is an unfortunate end here.
Is it?
He's
Is it
gonna
really?
feel bad about it. But you know what? We're not going to see a 3-0.
Yeah. Yeah, Abelmo going to take this game. His opponent's going to be able to get him down to 6 if he wants. He's just going to save it, and that is it. So a couple kill commands, just one actually does it.
Yep.
There it is. Kill command for the finish, and Abelmo back in this one. Takes the game with his Hunter. Still has to win with Druid and Paladin, but he knows the deck he's playing against. He got a lot of information actually that game, so Abelmo well equipped to try to take this a bit further.
Yeah, and now I'm going to have to challenge this Warlock deck with a little bit more experience against it.
Yeah.
So he can actually make a little bit more intelligent plays. Like, he knows there's not that many demons in the deck.
We did see one reverse sweep last week. We saw actually Palmblad reverse sweep Rini Hour, which was a bit of an upset. Palmblad, though, showing himself to be a really good player with really crazy intelligent deck choices. That was the guy that ran the Priest deck that ended up having a 28-28 Death Lord.
Yeah, I saw that little clip on a commercial break.
Yep. Well, we will see what Abelmo decides to bring out next. Sounds like the game is ready to go, so Abelmo, will it all end here for him, or will he be able to force a game 5? Time to get into the game, find out. It's going to be Paladin. Okay, Paladin versus Warlock, and you know, again, he needs to win with both decks. So either way, didn't matter what he chose. He was going to play the Warlock, and he has to get a win. But Paladin can be a good match up against Handlock, right? You've got the Defender of, or rather the Eldar Peacekeeper to reduce the attack. You've got things like Equality, perhaps. I'm not sure if he's running that in this deck.
We haven't seen it yet. He's got Shielded Minibot in his hand, so that's definitely a good thing against any class.
Shielded Minibot is just such a sick card.
It is like the card to have.
It's not, I suppose it's not the strongest against Handlock, but it's still a fun card. Gonna put a little bit of early pressure on with this Zombie Chow.
Therusian, there's a little gasp from the crowd.
Emperor Thariza.
I always say his name wrong, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's a hard name.
I just say Therusian.
Therusian?
Therusian.
Emperor Thariza. Hey, you're gonna have to pay for those.
I just wanted to be Emperor Lando Calrissian.
Emperor Calrissian.
Star Wars.
Did that ever happen?
Please. No, I just want it.
I hope Lando Calrissian comes back in the new Star Wars movies.
I think he confirmed he's not, but
well, just not for the first one.
Yeah, not for the first one.
He wasn't in the first of the old ones either.
Ooh, good point.
Maybe he'll be in disguise. Abelmo.
I hope Lando like blows up the new version of the Death Star in the last movie as well.
Look, we actually switched to the other player's view because Looksam was getting a little bit too crazy. I guess it was actually Looksam. I was blaming the wrong guy.
Well, he does run Equality, we just learned.
He does. It'd be pretty surprising if there weren't any equalities in there. I mean, yeah, Zombie Chow is going to end up giving your opponent health back at some point, right?
Muster for battle.
Yep.
Is he going to run into this?
I
can't kill it.
think. I guess he will.
This does limit his options somewhat.
All right.
That was interesting.
I'll bring it down to a 4-4.
What do you think about that? Not using the Divine Shield there. I feel like that's the best he's going to get out of the Divine Shield. Oh, 2 Mortal Coils back to back and get 2
Wow. Yeah, nice cycling from Looksam. Oh, those poor Silverhand recruits just sound so sad when they die.
Yeah, well, they're just pretty sad until the Quartermaster comes out. They should change their voice when he comes out.
Well, it was really nice for Looksam to be able to deal with those just in case there was going to be a turn 5 Quartermaster.
Yeah. And he draws 2 cards off of it. It's like such a good place for him to be right now.
Good cycling, good board control.
He's got 9 cards in his hand, so he's not going to burn.
Yep, get rid of everything. Why not?
And I think the obvious choice here is the Belcher. This turn he's going to run the shield and the weapon, because he can actually clear it.
Yeah, behind the Sludge Belcher, that 2/2 might be a bit annoying. Oh, Doomguard, okay.
Doomguard.
Yeah,
That's
we
a
do
demon.
see. Yeah, I've seen Doomguard run in Handlock every once in a while.
Because the thing about Doomguard is it synergizes with the Void Caller, and you don't lose the 2 cards. It just comes out with charge, so it's pretty insane.
You know, thinking about it too, the Soulfire is kind of interesting to see as well. So we've seen people kind of forego that because of the 1 mana cost for the Dark Bombs and the Mortal Coils for a while now. And this one, you probably just ignore. Yeah, just go to face. Get him down to around 15 or so, 14, 15.
Yeah, but the load that he puts out here just kind of more of a minion than anything else. He's not trying to block any spells here.
Yeah, there's a Void Caller.
Is he going to silence that? I suppose he could. You can't deal with it this turn. Oh yeah, you can't use an Argus. I couldn't see that.
Yep, Defender of Argus. It's a little bit hard to see at the top of the screen there. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a great turn.
Yeah, clear out the Lotheb. There's the Knife Juggler, okay. True Silver champion will be the pickup. And he'll be able to clear this board pretty well.
He's going to be able to keep his Sludge Belcher alive.
And I say just make a dude.
Make
There's
a dude.
The dude has been made.
The dude.
The dude abides, man.
Oh, okay, we're starting to see some more demons fill us up. We didn't see them last game, but
I figured there'd probably be a Dread Infernal in there, but
right, you know,
Doomguard is interesting.
Just a coincidence we didn't see those cards last time. So it looks like he's not running any, Mountain Giants. Most likely, he's definitely running the Lava Giant.
Usually, when you don't run the Mountain Giants, that's what you take them out for, right?
Yeah,
some demons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fill in those holes in your deck.
Yeah. Now he's got the Sunfury Protector in his hand. He's got some draw. He's going to just play the Emperor. All right, just not wanting to deal with anything buffed by a Quartermaster. And wow, what a great turn for Emperor Tharzan. Getting all that stuff 1 mana cheaper can make such a huge difference.
Oh wow, he's going to lay on hands here.
Yeah, a little bit of a lull in the action, so it gives him a good chance to get some health back.
And he can still remove this card.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's going to not be the most efficient trade, but
yeah, but with the amount of cards his opponent has, you really need to get rid of that. Really can't blame him at all. So what do we see this turn? I'm guessing he could go Void Caller Sludge Belcher, actually. That's just like the crazy turns you can do with these cards. Could also just play a Molten Giant, too.
I think he might Void Caller Sylvanas.
Sylvanas on an empty board is
So it's a bit risky.
a little bit risky sometimes, yeah. Don't think you play the Doomguard.
No, that's way riskier.
Yep, you don't want to discard anything.
There's just no reason to use it at this point either. You want to use it as a finisher if you can, or just that surprise Void Caller.
I mean, you do have to be a little bit cautious because Equality Consecrate is something you have to consider. But maybe just the Void Caller.
Sludge Belcher's okay here.
You'll get the taunt with it either way.
Yeah.
All right. I don't really think that's an overextension at this point.
If he baits that move, then he's going to have one of his demons out for sure, which in this case is going to be the Doomhammer.
You've got the Doomguard, yeah. You've got a lot of follow-up as well, too, because if they do 2 damage to you with Consecrate with that combo, you're going to have a 4 mana and a 5 mana Molten Giant as well, too.
It's a very quick turn here. He just dropped the heal bot down in that Shredder.
Yep, just kind of jockeying for a little bit of position, but so far Looksam really does have a nice board at the moment.
And he's going to have one of those 2 insanely good demons no matter what when he runs this into the 4-3. I don't think there's any other choice, right? Like, he's definitely going to smash that into the Shredder.
Yeah, I mean, it'll help develop his board a little bit more.
Actually,
doesn't necessarily need to, though. Okay, yeah, and he is going to go for that instead.
Okay.
Because you never know, again, when Equality is going to come out, something like that, and Paladin, compared to Warlock, that can end up getting things like Jiraxis and infinite 6/6s, right? If you can remove a lot of their minions, you're going to be generally a bit better. If you can remove all their minions, keep the huge board control when your Giants come out, there's just not a lot they can do about it. Yeah. So you have to kind of play the long game with Handlock, and that's what Looksam is doing.
So now putting a Giant out, which would kind of contradict that a bit. I don't think he's actually going to do it. Okay. Yeah, just trade these.
Yep, there we go.
Still somewhat vulnerable to the equality, but he's got another one, so I don't think he's too concerned about it.
If they're going to play it, they're going to play it. You know, at some point, and I think we have reached that point, you just can't play around it anymore.
And he hasn't shown it yet. It's like many turns before he would have played it, most likely. And so he has it, but he doesn't have the Consecrate. But he does have his Knife Jugglers, which, you know, may end up working to clear some of these cards. I mean, 2 of them are already at 1 health. He could roll the dice here a little bit.
Well, he's worried that if he BGHs, after he puts a Knife Juggler down, he's going to hit the Void Caller and bring out whatever's
Mal'Ganis or
in the hand.
whatever else, yeah.
Right. At some point, though, you do have to try to get some sort of board control for the double knives. And as Void Caller gets the Doom Guard.
But wastes the charge with that one, at least. But still, small victory.
5-7 is still so annoying to deal with. Getting that one for free. Okay, nice. He hits the Sludge Belcher. He can clear the 1-2 if he wants to.
Could actually play the Peacekeeper as well.
He could, yeah. And getting that down to 1 attack wouldn't be bad. But where you know there's more Giants coming, it's a tough decision to make sometimes.
I'm just meaning for the 2 knives. You know, if he gets lucky, he might remove one of these other 2 cards.
That's true, too.
He's going to drop 2 knives with that.
I'd
save it, but...
Well, I mean, the thing is, too, is that if you put it down, yeah, you can reduce the attack, but you're so vulnerable to Hellfire and Shadow Flame here.
And he can also activate the knives this way.
Yeah.
Which I hadn't even really thought about in my mind for a moment there.
Yeah. And, you know, I think he's pretty worried about Shadow Flame at this point.
Which he should be.
Yep, actually the Defender of Argus can clear the board if he Shadow Flames it.
Yeah, and that's, I think, what we're going to see here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if he goes to face here, for sure.
Yeah. He sees that arrow and he's like, oh, God, he's got it.
Yeah. He sees like a crazy arrow and he's like, oh, no, he's a bot.
He calls the ref over.
Yeah. There's a Shadow Flame.
He's farming that Shaman portrait.
Ah, that's right. Oh, no, a Golden Shaman. You already have the portrait, why? And looks like he might just drop the Sylvanas, too. Just in case something like Tyrion Fordring would come out.
Double taunt here, too, with this Tharused. It's been very Tharused.
Therazon.
Yeah, that Sunwalker.
Tharist.
Slightly Tharist.
Yep.
Well, this is looking pretty tough to crack. There's the Tyrion, but you don't want to play Tyrion against this. So,
yeah. Don't want to give it right over to him.
I think you heal bot and you have to to drop down that Peacekeeper, right? Or you're starting to get too low.
Well, this is already looking...
It's almost unrecoverable, but...
Pretty awkward for Abelmo. I mean, if he can draw into another muster for battle, maybe he can set up another board, but you're just so vulnerable to things again, like Hellfire. He's already seen the Shadow Flame used. And, yep, just heal bot. And the dude. Gotta make the dude. All right, well, 13 health. There's a Hellfire, too, so might see that one get saved for a while, I think. Because he doesn't necessarily need to use it right now. He's certainly got control over the board at the moment.
Yeah. Trying to think of other options he could do here. He could just end up trading into the 3/3s.
I mean, the thing is, too, is you can just drop that Molten Giant behind the taunts, and it's really safe and very likely to get some damage done, barring like an Equality Consecrate. Although this late into the game, you know, it's much more likely that they have that combo. So Looksam may not want to be, you know, committing that much of the board right now.
Yeah, you could tap, but I don't think you want to. I mean, you got a lot of tools in your hand already. Tap would give him the Molten Giant for free, so whatever he draws could use that too with it.
I agree, though, that it's fine, but it's not necessary. And he will just go ahead and Hellfire. Okay. It does clear the board, and it makes whatever comes out easier to take, and he will just play that Molten Giant. Oh, wow. Okay. This is so vulnerable to Equality Consecrate if it gets drawn.
It's such a I think I've got this, because again,
yeah,
we would have seen Equality Consecrate so many times already if he had it. So I think he's like, I'm pretty sure you don't have this, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely what he's thinking. He's committing. He's just going all out.
And it's going to work out for him because there's really nothing for him to do here with the Sylvanas in play. He can't play Tyrion.
Right. Tyrion does nothing for you because Sylvanas just runs into it, takes it.
It's almost like
then
he has
you
to
still get hammered for 12 minimum.
Oh boy.
Well, you have to try because the thing is he doesn't know if Looksam can kill him or not this turn. So you got to give it a try. He might steal the 1-1 too. Silencing, what's it going to be? He doesn't want to give him the sword, of course.
He's gonna
just goes for face, that's the game,
damage.
yeah.
He's enough damage.
Oh, of course, with the owl.
And
with the Dread Infernal, there's 1 damage, yep. That is it. So Looksam takes the match 3-1.
Yeah, the silence there. Kind of forgot about myself there for a second because I was so obsessed with the idea of stealing it, which would have, been lucky if you got it.
It would have been fun. It would have been stylish, but it wouldn't have been the win.
It wouldn't have been safe.
We would have missed lethal. Cardinal sin of Hearthstone. And so Looksam will advance to face Solcio in our next match. Now, the tricky part is Solcio's got a little bit of time to rest. I don't believe he's been allowed to watch this match because he's not allowed to really see what's in his opponent's decks.
Yeah, that wouldn't be fair.
Yep.
There's a little back area where the players stay where they don't have any access to this.
That's right.
He's probably just back there kind of chilling.
Yep. And Looksam moves on. So when we come back, our final match of the night, don't go anywhere.